Hey guys, Brian here with Wolf's Prairie Outdoors. Thanks for stopping by to check out the overview on our 1895 SBL that we use in the Defensive Lever Gun series. If you haven't seen the series, check out the link right up here. It'll take you to it. In that series, we discuss lever guns for home defense, show some cool shooting and stuff, talk about weapon lights, optics, the whole 9 yards. So definitely a good series to check out if you haven't seen it. And without further ado, let's talk about the 1895 that all you guys know and love. This was originally my 1895 hunting rig that has grown to be our most viewed video on the channel. We're about to break 300,000 views on it. Thank you guys so much for all those views. I really appreciate it and never expected it to grow that much. It was one of the first videos we did, and it's amazing to see where it's gone since then. It's changed tremendously. The furniture, the internals, everything about it has changed. Let's start up front. It was originally 18.5 inch barrel and had it cut and threaded to 16.5. I have the Ranger Point Precision Comet brake on the front. And guys, this brake does a phenomenal job of mitigating recoil and eliminating muzzle flash. They did a really good job of designing it. I'm very happy with it. Coming back, I've changed out the sights. We have a fiber optic sight up front, and I have the Ranger Point Precision cloverleaf sight on the rear that has an integrated pick rail. And the nice thing about this is you have a backup sight integrated into the pick rail, which is a cloverleaf design that really draws your eye to the middle. We have green fiber optic at the back, red at the front, so they line up nicely. It gives you a good sight picture. Up front again, we have the Surefire Scout Pro Mini. It's a nice little weapon light, great lightweight light, gives you plenty of light for indoor use especially, and close outdoors use. It's tail cap activated or pressure pad. I have a tail cap on here. It works for my needs. And it has two options for mounting. You can mount it with a pick rail mount, or you can mount it with an M-LOK direct mount. So I took the pick rail mount off, mounted the M-LOK mount on it. Why have the extra weight and just bulk sticking out from the rifle? Mount it to the side of the rifle, and then you can angle the light exactly where you want it. It gives you a nice setup, and you can get it right where your thumb's going to fall. I think it works out really well. It's mounted to, of course, the Ranger Point Precision M-LOK handguard. Guys, I love these handguards, as you've seen in the previous videos. I think their fit and finish is great. And especially when it comes to recoil with the 4570, these cutouts on the side give you a great purchase, really positive lockup with your fingers, and your hand's not going to move when you shoot a high power load, not going anywhere. It's an excellent setup. Mounted on the side, we have the Ranger Point Precision 6-shot quiver. I think this style quiver is a must with this kind of rifle. When you're shooting a high power load, these rounds do not move. They're not going anywhere. I had a Hoptic USA quiver on the side before. It was a great quiver, but there are tensioning screws on the back of the other quiver, and by having those tensioning screws, either there's some slight variances in brass diameter from manufacturer to manufacturer, or the screws came loose under heavy recoil, which is a good possibility. So I was shooting one day and I had a 2-shot quiver on the side. When I pulled the trigger, the rounds went flying out the back. Not what you want to happen, especially in a defensive scenario. You don't want your only spare ammo going elsewhere and not on the gun or in the gun. So I think this setup is a great option. It's far superior because it's not going anywhere. And I've shot some seriously high power loads, nearly equaling the recoil of a 458 Win Mag out of this gun. I've pushed the limits of it, and these rounds have not moved. Excellent setup. They did a great job designing it. And it's the same design they used when they made custom rifles, and they used it in the buttstock, which is a pretty cool setup, I think. So moving back to the action, we have changed out the loading gate and the follower as well on this rifle, and we have the Ranger Point Precision loading gate and follower. They work great. I've had zero issues out of them. When we get to the trigger, of course, we replaced it with a Ranger Point Precision trigger as well. Again, I love that flat trigger bow. It feels great. It's not completely flat, but it's more flat than the standard. I really like the purchase on it, especially with the grooves on the trigger. They did a really good job with it. And of course, Ranger Point Precision medium loop lever. You guys have heard me brag on it time and time again. Excellent setup, and I've had no issues with it being too close with recoil, digging into my hand or anything. No problems with a heavy load. Does great. Again, at the back and the side of the rifle, we have the Ranger Point Precision quick takedown screws. Excellent for cleaning your rifle in the field and also popping your buttstock off if you need to store it, carry it, whatever you're doing. And I've had a lot of guys ask me, how does that buttstock screw affect the fitment of your hand? Is it dig into you when you're shooting a heavy recoiling load? I've had zero issues out of that, guys. It marries up to your hand nicely. It's not a problem at all. On the back, again, we have the Form rifle stock. Great option. This one matches the Marlin Dark setup, and it's a bit less expensive than the more laminate versions like what I have on the 3030. And I think it fits the rifle really well. It looks nice, and it's the same great fit and finish as what's on their laminate stocks. It's just a lower price point because they don't have to use the laminate wood like they do with that other high-end model, so they can do the black spiderweb paint. It looks great, I think, and it will match your Marlin Darks extremely well. Again, Like I mentioned in the 30-30 video, if you haven't seen that, there is another option, the Bradley cheek rest, if you need to get a good eye relief with an elevated optic like we have here. And you can use this Bradley cheek rest that is Kydex. It has a foam insert that hugs up to the stock, and once you set it to the height you want, you lock it back on with Velcro. It's not going anywhere, and if you need to, you can move it from platform to platform depending on what you're doing. If you want to use a different rifle, saves you a lot of money, but in my opinion, this is a far superior product just because of what it is. It really is a good product, and that push button actuation to adjust the cheek weld is very nice if you're changing shooters that have different size faces. Also coming to market soon, guys, is a Ranger Point Precision adjustable buttstock that will give you a proper cheek weld by adjusting set screws, and you can adjust the stock up to fit where your face needs to be. And as you can see, there's an M-LOK plate you can mount at the back to mount ammo back there to have an addition to the ammo at the front, or just have it at the back to better balance the rifle if that's the way you want to carry it. Whatever tickles your fancy, you can do. One last thing we haven't mentioned, guys, is the optic on top. We have the Trijicon MOA Patrol. I think this is a really nice optic. I've used them on ARs. I have one on the AR pistol over my shoulder, and it's the standard MRO, and we'll talk about the differences here in just a second. I think the MRO Patrol is a great optic. I love the integrated scope caps because they're integrated. You don't have to worry about it, and you simply flip them out of the way. You're good to go. Has an integrated anti-reflection device up front as well. Just a really good optic. It does a good job. It's nice and bright, and I've beat the fool out of these things in the brush, thrown them in the truck, whatever. I've had zero issues, no changing of zero. They do a great job, and I definitely trust it on a rifle I'm using for home defense. Now, when we look at the differences between the MRO Patrol and the standard MRO that I have on the pistol back here, which, yes, it's clear, it just has a mag in it. It is a basic optic. There's no integrated covers on it. Well, I bought one from, I think it's IO Gear, and it has these rubber covers. Well, they're nice and fine and dandy, but as you can see, they're kind of in the way of the optic when you pop them loose. So you have to fold them back, fold it in top of itself, and lock it down and get it to stay out of the way that way. And you know, it gets the job done, but it's not the most efficient way to do it. I have it, I use it because I want to protect the glass on it, but again, it's not the most efficient, and it can be a pain. I'm wondering how long it's actually going to hold up. And it's actually from Tango Down. That's the brand. And I mean, it gets the job done, it protects the finish on it, but it's not the most efficient way to do it. And having to move those rubber flaps back definitely gets annoying, because if you need it in a hurry, you're not going to be doing it in a hurry. This is a far more efficient method. Well, guys, that's about all there is to it. You know, this gun has made a big change from the SBL it started out as, but I think it's been a great change. I'm digging the way it looks, and I'm loving that break. It really helps mitigate that recoil, especially on those hard-hitting loads. My shoulder really appreciates it at the end of the day. You know, if you have any questions further, drop them in the comments below. I'll get to them as soon as I can. Don't forget to show some love to our sponsors for the series, Ranger Point Precision, Hornady Ammunition, and Big Daddy Unlimited. Really appreciate them. Without them doing this series, it would have been very difficult for us, so they were a huge help. We also really appreciate you guys for sticking around and watching the series. It's been a ton of fun doing it. We'll definitely be doing more stuff in the future. If you like what you see, give us a big thumbs up for a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Have a good one, guys.